Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you. Bermuda, Bahamas, come on, pretty mama, off the Florida Keys. What's going on, everyone? My name is Jalik from WearTesters.com. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel, where today we are taking a look at the ANTA KT5 Low in the Bahamas colorway. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this in this video just because I don't know if the video I intended to be my second will actually be my second. So here goes. Thank you all so much. I have seen the feedback and the kind words, all of the encouragement, support for WearTesters, for myself, and I really do appreciate it. I know we all appreciate it at WearTesters, so thank you all so much for giving me a chance, giving me a fair shot. Didn't seem like I dropped the complete bomb on the channel or anything like that, so I am grateful for that, and I appreciate you all so much. Now, for those of you that are still a little lost and trying to figure out where I came from, we're gonna test out my skills or my YouTube awareness as a new guy on the channel. Check out the Converse G4 High. I just kind of looked out the corner of my eye as if I was really gonna see the card coming out, but I believe that's the right corner there. If I'm wrong, we're leaving this in anyway, just cause. And yeah, you can check out that video to get caught up, see, how I did in my first go around. And then come back here, compare, see if I made any progress, leave your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll check them out. Thank you. Now, for the shoes, we have the ANTA KT5 in the low cut, and this is the Bahamas colorway. This colorway has been applied to both the low cut and the high top model, but we've already seen the high cut on the channel. Chris did his initial review and a performance review on those guys, and a lot has stayed the same on these, or at least I think they did, and at the same time, a few things have changed with the low cut other than the removal of some excess materials. I'll let you know what I think of it, how everything feels to me, and then you can give your thoughts down in the comment section below. So here we go. Starting off with the outsole, we have the same fingerprint traction from the original KT5. Nothing has changed there. This colorway is a solid rubber compared to the translucent rubber that Chris tested, but I don't really know what to say to expect as far as differences between the solid and translucent. I just know what I see in hand. Everything looks pretty good. Seems like it'll do well. Looks very durable. There's some thick lines. There's some deep grooves, some wide space in between those grooves. So I'm definitely not expecting it to be a dud for sure. And the Klay Thompson signature line has been using this as a staple in their recent models. So yeah, I mean, I'm hoping it does well. So far, so good. I like what I see, and we'll just keep it moving from there. Now, the cushion appears to be the same along with the rest of the tooling, even the fake hover that you have wrapping the lateral side of the midsole. But I say things seem to be the same on here just because looking at the low top, I see there under where it says flash foam, there's 3 plus marks. So I don't know if that means a flash foam plus, meaning it's a different generation of flash foam. But yeah, I thought that was interesting just because I don't recall seeing that on any images of the high cut KT5s. If any of you do happen to know if a flash foam plus is a thing, and if there's any difference between that and regular A flash foam, then definitely feel free to let us know down in the comments. Hopefully we all can learn something new. But as far as how it feels, it does have that slight bounce. Pretty much is on line with everything Chris had to say in his performance review after it. The only thing I guess I would say that differs is it seemed like it took him a little bit to break in to get that feeling, whereas I'm getting the feeling kind of immediately right out of the box with the cushion. So again, that goes back to, I don't know if this is just a different generation of the foam, or maybe I'm just that much more of a fat ass than Chris, where I'm activating all kinds of things in the cushion. Now, the upper of the KT5 Low is also a knit, just as the regular KT5 was. However, we have a different type of knit on the low top, infinite to be more specific. I mean, it pretty much feels like a less glued down version of what the KT5 had. There is still some glue like around the toe, which is, kind of good just because there's some extra reinforcement and support in that area. But there's other sections where it seems like they minimize the usage of glue. So if you look in the toe box, hopefully you'll be able to see in this shot, there's kind of a crisscross pattern that goes across the toe box. Those crisscrosses are where the glue is applied. All the spaces in between are basically a free free knit. There's a ton of separation from the underlying material, so should give a little bit of ventilation. I haven't really been able to tell just from walking around the house or anything if that really is the case, but seems like that's what it's there for. In addition, you have a lot more flexibility and kind of just less crispiness than other parts where there's definitely some glue, like up towards the edge of the toe. So it's kind of a welcome change, I would say. The rest of the knit going up to the tongue area, that is more of a stretchy knit. This is a one-piece booty construction, so that's kind of needed to have some stretch a little bit there, as is the ankle collar itself. That's going to be a very stretchy knit, and I find the collar kind of interesting. I don't know if you all can see it, but when I look at the collar, I'm thinking of the KT3 with this shroud. I think it was a removable shroud if I'm not mistaken, and that reminds me of a lot of it. I don't necessarily like the aesthetics of it, but if that was put there to kind of be a callback to the KT3, then I can appreciate that, especially when, you know, this low top looks even more like a Curry 6 knockoff, if I'm being honest. So anything to kind of look back at their own heritage, I think is a good move if you're gonna make a shoe look even more like a different brand shoe, the signature athlete's teammate shoe at that. But yeah, so where I think this looks even more like the Curry 6 is the addition of these cables that were put on the low top. Now, don't get me wrong, I actually love these cables and how they feel so far. I'm hoping that they hold up and, you know, don't snap on me or anything like that, because I really dig that they put those on there. So the way the cables work, there's a set of 3 cables on the lateral side and then a set of 2 on the medial side, and they seem kind of color coded for different purposes. So on this colorway, you have pink cables and yellow cables. The pink cables all connect to the footbed on both ends. So these 2 pieces here kind of start in these respective areas. This top one kind of drops down around like the midfoot area, and the other one goes a little bit further back towards the heel, but still goes to the footbed. And then the yellow cables, they start at the footbed on the forefoot end, but they actually draw back all the way towards the heel. So the way that this is laced up now is basically how the shoe came, and you can kind of see the different points of tension where you can get some of that targeted lockdown. And it's really cool that they use the yellow cable towards the end, just because that actually draws you like pretty far back into the heel. It's a fully customizable setup, so even though this is a knit construction or a knit one-piece construction, you can kind of customize and adjust the lockdown to specific areas that you want. As far as sizing goes, long story short, my true size is US 11.5. Most Chinese brands don't offer shoes. There are some that have seen available in 11.5, but for the most part, anything that I've actually been interested in, I've only found in size 11 or going up to a 12. So basically full sizes after a certain point. So with Chinese brand releases, I always go a half size down. I don't have a wide foot or anything like that. So it tends out to work for me going a half size down. And this was no exception. Everything feels perfect as far as the fit goes. It's a nice, comfortable one-to-one fit. I think even without the cable system, it would be a good fit for me, but just having those cables there just makes things even better, just in case the shoe happens to stretch or anything during testing, or, you know, as I wear the shoe a little bit more. So wide footers, you may want to watch out, just because this piece of the outsole that comes up here may be a little bit of a irritant to the pinky toe. I would say you'll probably want to go a half size up. And then for support, everything is pretty standard. There's nothing new that I can tell here. You have the same internal heel counter. This external piece is just a foam, so it's not really adding too much as far as support goes. You also sit within the midsole quite a bit along the lateral side, so you have that containment. We've already talked a couple of times about the cable system. That's going to give you some great midfoot lockdown, and even draws you into the heel a good deal, so you'll be supported that way. You have pieces of the outsole that do wrap up, so you're contained that way also. You have some pieces stabilizing back towards the heel as well, and you have your midfoot shank also, so you pretty much have the coverage that you need as far as support goes. And yeah, I like this shoe a lot in hand. I think it is a potential bad boy. Comparing it to shoes like the like this guy, the ANTA GH1, to me this is a great shoe. I know Chris thinks very highly of this shoe as well. I think it's kind of been both of our like go-tos as far as backups when we were testing shoes or were able to test shoes. So you know, what they did to make this a low top, I think just improves the shoe even more and potentially puts it right in line with how I feel about these. Until that time, I mean, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hopefully you got some good information or learned some new things about it. And pricing, I think I paid like 110 or 120 for these guys. The price could be higher or lower depending on where you get them from. And yeah, that's about all that I have on these guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I don't know if this is gonna be my second or third video, but I do appreciate you all watching. I know there's not as much to do around the world right now for everyone, but you know, we still appreciate you taking the time out to spend with us, you know, looking at these shoes and checking out what we have to say. So it's much appreciated. Hope everyone is doing okay out there. Stay safe, stay inside if you're being told to. Just take care, man. Thank you all so much again. Till the next video, have a good one.